It's time to talk about the important issues for the natural state, and there's only one place to turn for that. Opportunity Arkansas's Nic Horton. You can find Nic's work at opportunityarkansas.org.
And welcome back to First News. It is the Wednesday edition here on the 25th of September, 20 minutes in front of 8 o'clock. And now joining us, talk about some different issues here in Arkansas this morning is the CEO and founder of Opportunity Arkansas, Nic Horton. And Nic, welcome back to the show. How are you today?
Hey, it's great to be back. Time flies. I feel like we were just doing this yesterday. So it's always good to be with you.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
We'll let the listeners decide.
Yeah. Before we get into some of the business on the day, what did you think of the Johnny Cash statue being unveiled at the U.S. Capitol yesterday? That along with the Daisy Bates statue. Feel like those are good representations of Arkansas at the Capitol?
I love it, and I wish I'd been able to be there for both of them.
Yeah.
The timing just didn't work out to be able to make the trip. But yeah, I mean, two great Arkansans, two people who put Arkansas on the map, on the map in a totally new way. And you look at Johnny Cash and his personal story of, struggling with addiction and just all the things he went through in his childhood to end up in a place where I think he was truly at peace and he was truly, a messenger for the gospel and just a great Arkansan, a great American. I think it's really cool. I think it's a great day for Arkansas. It was neat to see some of the photos and footage coming out of the U.S. Capitol yesterday to see the Speaker of the U.S. House there and all the folks that were there to recognize a great Arkansan and to recognize Arkansas. So, yeah, it was really neat, really special.
I feel the exact same way. Of course, some of the other things going on, you had the first airing online, at least, for the Lernzak Town Hall that you did last week with KATV. And so are you getting some good feedback from that? And is YouTube the best place to go and view that at this point on the KATV page?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's on the KTV page, but the Crisis in the Classroom YouTube page has it featured there. So, yeah, so Armstrong Williams, who's a national correspondent for Sinclair Media, he's the one that flew in and did the town hall. He wrote a book called Crisis in the Classroom, and so now they're doing these town hall meetings all over the country. And look, the feedback has been really good. I think we definitely made the case in a very compelling way for education freedom and continuing to empower parents. And one of the things that I said at the outset of the program is we do have a crisis in the classroom. I mean, we have 2 out of 3 kids. Think about this. 2 out of 3 kids in the state of Arkansas that can't read at grade level.
Wow.
2 out of 3.
That's amazing.
I mean, it is stunning. And to go toe-to-toe, to sit there and listen to the teachers union and the folks on the other side who've been in charge for the last 100, 150 years and frankly have gotten us to this point, to sit there and listen to them talk about how, well, they've got the solution. They've got the way. They know the way out of this. They know the way to fix this. It's universal pre-K, and it's free after school, and it's free summer school, and it's all these new programs. We spend $7 billion a year on public education in the state of Arkansas. It goes up almost every year. It's going to go up again next year, just like it always does. And we're not getting better. It's not moving the needle. And so we really made the case that we've got to start to do things differently. We can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result, just throwing more money at the problem and closing our eyes and hoping something changes. That's what we've been doing for the last 150 years in education in the state of Arkansas.
Yeah.
We know what that does. We know the results that gets us. It's not good. It's 2 out of 3 kids that can't read. And so we've got to start doing some things differently, and we're finally doing that now, thanks to Governor Sanders, the legislature, and the LEARNS Act. And we're just starting to see the positive outcomes from that.
You were saying yesterday when we were talking that there's a new or maybe the same ballot amendment issue on education starting to circulate again. What can you tell us about this? What is this?
It's the same song, different verse of the failed status quo and the same teachers union advocates and organizers. It's the exact same language, the exact same amendment that they circulated this summer that they call the Education Rights Amendment. And it's the same failed ideas. It's ending education freedom by regulating private schools and forcing them out of the education freedom program. It's stomping on religious liberty and telling private schools that if they do try to participate in the education freedom program, they can't teach religious subjects. They have to teach evolution and all these other things that may violate their religious beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
It's creating 5 new welfare programs:
Wow.
universal after school, universal pre-K, universal summer school. I mean, keep in mind, these are the people who tell us the LEARNS Act and education freedom are bad because they, quote, subsidize the rich. Now they want to create 5 new welfare programs, the majority of which have no income limit, and they're universal programs.
Right.
So anyone, regardless of any income, regardless of any means, can qualify for these programs now. They still can't tell us, by the way, how much those programs are going to cost. They had months and months and months, if not a year, to figure out that cost estimate and tell the voters how much it was going to cost. They couldn't do it as well. We've got some economists working on it. We've got some economists working on it. They still haven't published a cost estimate. And frankly, I'm not sure that they ever will, because I don't think they want the voters to know how much it would cost.
Right.
So they refiled this now. The Attorney General's office has recertified it, and they're going to have the next 2+ years to circulate this thing and try to get it on the ballot in 2026. They fell miserably short this last summer.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, they've fallen miserably short every time they've tried to derail the LEARNS Act and put it on the ballot. The voters have rejected their failed ideas and sided with the LEARNS Act every single time. So we'll see. They've got a long runway now. They got 2 years to make this happen. But in the meantime, we're going to continue to spread the message that education freedom is working. Families are going to be feeling the impact of this. You know, we're talking about next school year, every family in the state of Arkansas is going to be eligible for this program. So that's going to really start to turn the needle in terms of the real world impact of this. And I think they're going to have a long road ahead.
Now, Nick, when this was going around the first time, and I know that they've made it very vague, especially when they talk about how much this is going to cost the state, but didn't you guys at Opportunity Arkansas, with at least a little bit of information that you had about how it would operate, didn't you guys run some numbers, the best that you could, and came up with, wasn't it something like $1 billion extra that it would take to institute a lot of this?
Yeah, that's right. $1 billion minimum. You know, we took some numbers from other states that have tried these types of programs, universal pre-K programs and after school. And by the way, a lot of those states have backed away from those programs or found that they're wildly more expensive even than they thought they would be.
Right.
But we did a very conservative estimate based on a very small number of participants on a per person basis, and we found about $1 billion a year. Now, I think the actual costs probably are $2 to $3 to $4 billion a year.
Wow.
You're talking about a massive amount of money because they're universal programs. That means everyone in the state of Arkansas would qualify, and we don't even really know. I mean, to your point about vagueness, we don't really know fully what those programs would provide.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to say universal pre-K. Well, what does that mean? How many teachers is that going to require? What benefits are they going to get? What are all the costs associated with transportation and all the other elements that are mandated in Arkansas? If you're going to provide those types of programs, you're going to have to pay for all that stuff. Universal after school, universal summer school. Are we going to have to build new buildings? Are we going to have to hire more school bus drivers over the summer to get these kids to school? I mean, there's all of these factors that they don't even consider, because this is their strategy. This is their strategy of diversion and shiny objects. And, oh, hey, don't look over here. Don't look over here at how we're ending education freedom. Look at all this free stuff that we're going to give you. And we're not going to tell you how much it's going to cost, but don't worry about it. The billionaires are going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be free, and it's going to fix everything. It's a silver bullet. We'll do anything and everything. You know, it'll solve all of our problems. And we've known, Bill Kopsky, this union spokesperson, mouthpiece that we went toe-to-toe with last week in the town hall, says, we know what will work. We know. We've had the answers have been right in front of us the whole time. It's universal pre-K. That's what they want to do. They don't want to talk about their failures. They don't want to talk about how we're 48th, 49th, 50th in all the education rankings. They just want to always have these new shiny objects to distract Arkansans. And I think, again, the encouraging thing about where we are now is Arkansans have woken up, and they know that things have to change. That's why they have consistently sent pro-education reform, pro-education freedom legislators, governors, down the list to the state capitol. They've rejected infringements on education freedom every chance that they've had, whether through the petition process, through the ballot box, through the state Supreme Court. Every chance they've had, the people have sided with education freedom, and I think that's going to continue to be the case. And we're just going to keep plowing forward and doing what's right for the people of Arkansas.
Well, I guess we'll have to hear them for the next 2 years as they roll this exact same thing out again. So
that is the unfortunate part.
We'll be thwarting it here. We can tell you that. So but yeah, that's I mean, it's disappointing, and like you say, we did it one way for many years, and it's proven that the outcome doesn't work. And so you have to change, and that's where education freedom comes in. That's where the LEARNS Act comes in, and it, like you said, it's been a real positive effect for the state so far, and only gets more positive as it opens up for more and more people. Even next school year, and so it's definitely going to be interesting to see where this goes. But of course, you can go watch Crisis in the Classroom. That's the town hall that Nick did on KATV, and it's on YouTube. At Crisis in the Classroom is the page that you would want to search if you want to see that entire town hall. And of course, if you want to see what Nick and Opportunity Arkansas are doing, you log on to their website. That's opportunityarkansas.org. And Nick, we always appreciate you stopping by each and every Wednesday here on the show, and we'll do it again next week.
Hey, I can't wait. And I'll put in just briefly one more plug. If people want to learn more about this radical union-backed education amendment, we still have our website from this summer up, 4arfamilies.com, 4arfamilies.com. They can watch an explainer video and read some of the narratives there about folks that, what this amendment would do. And how education freedom has been helping families, but it would also educate folks and give folks the facts about this vague union-backed ballot amendment. So if folks want to do that, I encourage them to go there, 4arfamilies.com.